I'm a married man.
Друзья, всем привет! Сегодня у нас интервью с человеком прямиком из Англии. Поговорим про эту страну, обсудим жизнь России и особенности языка. Давайте начнем. So, hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
Robin.
Robin. Okay. How old are you, Robin?
66 years old.
66 years young.
Oh, 66 years young, thank you, yes.
Yes, you're right. So, let's talk about your native country. First, my question to you. Do you love England? And can you name 3 benefits living in England and 3 disadvantages?
Yes, of course I love my country. I was born there 66 years ago. Lots of things that are very positive about it, but I suppose if I'm saying there are 3 things, it's very cosmopolitan.
Mm-hmm.
Many people from all over the world, so it's not just English people. It's very small. It's a small country compared with Russia, but it's got a beautiful coastline, beautiful scenery, and I have my friends there, my family's there, so of course that's important to me.
Sure.
Disadvantages, I suppose English people aren't very good at speaking other languages.
Mm-hmm.
They need to take more of an interest in learning other languages, because English is such an international language. We tend to take it for granted that everyone else will speak English. But yes.
Okay. Last year I was in Egypt and I met some people. They were from Europe, but they living right now in England. Yeah, and in London. And you said what a lot of people living in London from other countries. So is it true what around half of people there not was born in London?
Yes, I suppose more so now than ever. Since I've been living in London, or have been living in London for over 25 years, and sometimes when you walk down into some of the local areas where I live, which is in the suburbs, in the outskirts of London, sometimes you don't hear English being spoken.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
it's quite interesting. If we're on the bus or something, you can be hearing Turkish or Indian languages, because there are also Indians and Pakistanis who are living in London.
So we can say most popular nations, it's Turkish, Indian.
I think from all over the world, from the Caribbean, from many parts of the world, from Africa, from Ghana, Nigeria, they speak English, but obviously a lot of Turkish people. So they can speak English, but they'll be speaking in Turkish to their friends and their family, of course.
Okay, got it. How can you describe English people?
That's a good question. Well, actually, when you talk about England, I mean, I always think about. So I'm British, okay?
Okay.
British is made up of the English, the Welsh, the Scottish.
Well, yeah, Scottish and
Northern Ireland.
Yeah, sure.
And so we have the flag, the Union Jack.
Yes,
So
yes,
you've got
yes,
the kind of Scottish flag, which is the blue
Yeah.
cross. So when you talk about England, the English. I mean, I'm actually half Welsh. My father is from Wales, and my mother. They both passed away, but my father was Welsh and my mother was English. So I guess I'm half Welsh and half English. Whether it's the top half or the left half, I'm not sure.
So how can you describe them? Their character?
I think English people are proud to be English. Proud of the. I think that we're a tolerant nation. Tolerant.
Okay.
We tolerate a lot of different cultures. I like to think we're not racist, and there are lots of positives.
Is it true what English people drinking a lot of tea?
I do. I think I'm probably drinking more coffee now.
Oh, more drinking.
But I've always liked drinking tea.
Okay.
Whether you drink it with milk or without milk,
Okay.
I think the more herbal teas now are
Herbal tea.
popular.
Okay. Is it your favorite tea, herbal tea?
Yeah, I don't know. I think just ordinary tea. You know, lots of different types of tea. There's
Okay.
Earl Grey and various types of tea.
Okay. So next question: do you get pension right now from England, and how much is it? And is it okay for comfortable living?
My pension, I've only just started taking it when I was 66, on my 66th birthday, so just recently.
So you started getting it in this year, yeah?
Yes, yeah, it's okay. I mean, I'm lucky to have a pension. I also have a teacher's pension as well. I think whether it keeps up with inflation or not, I don't know. But I think a lot of people have pensions because inflation it never goes down. It always goes up. I think sometimes people find it difficult.
So is it comfortable for living on a pension if you're, for example, a British person?
Yes, I think you need. I think really, I'm lucky. I've got the teacher's pension because without that, I think just on the state pension, pension from the state.
So how much is state pension and teacher's pension?
Well, it works out for me about £700 to £800 a month.
700. So you mean a state pension? Or altogether?
No, altogether about £700.
Oh, okay, got it. So, and now I want to talk with you about Russia. First, my question about Russia. Why did you come here, and what's your purposes doing here?
Well, my purpose is to carry on teaching, which is very important, and because I could have retired, because I've got a pension now, but after 37 years of teaching, I thought I'd carry on. I was teaching in Switzerland, and I was applying for jobs in many parts of the world. The problem I came up with was that I couldn't get over the obstacle of the visas in terms of they don't grant visas to people over a certain age. They're discriminated on age, you see. So I think basically, I think that was a problem for me. But the one country that was interested in me was Russia. I had an interview with a school in Tyumen. Tyumen? Tyumen.
Tyumen?
There's a city.
Tyumen.
Tyumen.
Yes,
Yeah, Tyumen.
So you was interviewing in the city, yeah?
Yeah, it was online. And I also had an interview, obviously, with where I am now, in Bala City. And the person who interviewed me is an Irish guy who's married to a Russian, and they gave me the job. So
in Kazan,
yeah. So I'm very lucky to have a job and still teach. So it's a very interesting experience for me.
So how you said you're working like a teacher, like an English teacher. Yeah, and which recommendation can you give to people who started to learn English?
Important thing, because I'm trying to learn Russian, which is challenging. I think you when you're learning English, you've got to really immerse yourself. Immerse means like submerge, just be right in it. Listen to it a lot. Build up your vocabulary slowly, bit by bit. But enjoy it as well. Enjoy the language. It's an amazing language. But I think you have to listen to it a lot. Listen. Start learning a few phrases, but pick it up like a process of soaking it up, really, rather than. I mean, you can. There's grammar to learn, but I think you need to look at how we express ourselves and the words we use, and just enjoy listening to it. The more you listen to it,
So listen a lot, we can say, first of all.
Definitely listen a lot.
Secondly, it's learn vocabulary, you have to use it.
Vocabulary is important.
Okay, and third is to practice a lot.
And of course practice a lot, yeah. Mm.
What do you do out of work?
Outside of work, learning a lot of Russian at the moment,
Learning Russian,
which is,
okay.
And also I've been learning Spanish.
Spanish. Why Spanish?
My wife and I have been to Guatemala and we've been to Peru, so all the Latin countries in Central America, apart from Brazil, they all speak Spanish. So when I went to Guatemala the first time, my wife was there during COVID actually, when there was a lockdown. But I was teaching in Switzerland and I would go and see her during the holidays. And it was difficult being apart from each other for a long time. So when COVID happened and the lockdown, I thought, well, give myself a project, something that I can really immerse myself in, you know, again.
Yeah.
So that was learning Spanish, which I'm still doing. And Duolingo is my best friend at the moment.
Okay.
So I do a lot of that in my spare time. I like walking. I used to do a lot of running to keep fit, but now it's more walking. Bit difficult in the winter here,
sure.
but I'm still trying to do as much as I can. Yeah.
So learning languages, activity like walking, sport a little bit, anything else? Maybe, I don't know, cooking or...
Oh yeah, I do some cooking, yeah. I tend to cook the same thing, but it's quite nice when you've come back from school and you need to unwind and do something different. So yeah, a little bit of cooking.
Okay, that's great. So next question, did you find any friends here and how people relate to you?
Yes, I've met you. You're a friend. And funny how we met, isn't
I'm
it?
also happy.
Yeah, so yes, I have made some friends already. In fact, when I first came here, on the very first day I arrived, I went to Hotel Gostem and then I met this lady who's actually involved in education, and we just started talking, and and then the following week she showed me around part of the city, and so I've been very impressed with everyone's friendliness and welcome, especially in the school. The school's been wonderful. Made me feel very welcome. I'm part of an international team, so there are other people from different countries, including Ghana, Nigeria. They've been here for quite a long time, and they all have said the same thing, that when they first came, they were made to feel very welcome.
Okay, this is great. I asked you about how can you describe British people. What about Russian people? How can you describe them? I think a lot of Russian people, they keep to themselves. They're not really into you, into your business. They just let you get on with it. But when you do interact with them, they're very friendly and helpful and polite. And I've realised that it's important to, when you go into a shop, to say "Здравствуйте" and "До all those kind of things are important to them. It's just basic respect and being polite. But I don't feel they're nosy or they want to. They might be curious, but they don't show it. They tend to keep to themselves. Because I think they're just respect own place of everybody, and they just won't distract you.
Yes, that's what definitely, that was the impression I've had.
Okay. 3 advantages and 3 disadvantages can you name living in Russia?
I suppose I'll talk about the advantages first. I think I'm lucky to have a job. They've offered me a job. That was a big advantage. And I'm teaching in a really nice school, which has a great philosophy and ethos. The happiness of the students and the children is very central, which I like. I think that the phone system here is very good. I love the way you can get is it Yandex? Yandex is excellent.
So you love Yandex?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, it's very well thought out. I like the way that you have all these delivery people going around. And
big boxes.
Yeah, with their big boxes.
Yeah, but in England you have got Uber, for example.
We got Uber, yes, but I think I've been very impressed with Yandex because I was using the app from the beginning to get taxis, and then I started to become a bit more brave and started taking buses. That was a big experience in the morning, you know.
Okay, so good. So first of all, it's a good phone system, good applications.
Very good, yeah, and also the banking system as well.
Banking system. Oh, by the way, it's really easy to transfer money.
Very
to
good.
Take messages to somebody.
Excellent, yeah, it's a really good system. I mean, I think you got the IT is good. Yeah, it's excellent.
In England, for transfer money to somebody, how many days you need to wait, or how it all this?
No, well, you can do it. You can do it straight away, but I think in Russia, I mean, they opened a bank account for me, and the people in the school, they have an international section for dealing with visas and all the bureaucracy that we have to get through. I mean, there's a lot of bureaucracy. That's one of the things that I suppose that could be a disadvantage, but once you've done it all, it's fine. But with the help of the people in the school who deal with those kind of problems.
So let's come to Russia. Phone system, bank system, anything else?
I think one of the things that
weather maybe.
The weather. Yeah, weather. When we arrived, because I came with my wife for the first couple of months, the weather was good, and we were going around Kazan, took loads of pictures, and blue sky and everything. Okay. I think I had been warned that the weather was going to get cold, and I'd never experienced temperatures as low as -25, -30, and the teachers at school said there's no such thing as bad weather, it's bad clothing in terms of, you know, which I thought was quite interesting. So I was sort of preparing myself for long johns, you know, under trousers and all that. So I've kind of kitted out in a way that I need to be, but I think I've never seen so much snow. I mean, in fact, they were saying this year there's more snow than for a long time, for many years. But it's quite impressive the way they try and keep all the streets clear, and they have all these lorries taking out all the snow to the. I suppose they dump it in the River Volga, don't they?
I checked some news in application. What in this year in Kazan throw out more than 100 tons of snow to the rivers. I never.
100 what?
100 tons.
100 tons.
Yeah, of snow.
Every day or every?
All winter.
All winter. 100 tons.
Yeah, it's the biggest amount of snow from all the winters.
One of the things I'm thinking about is there's still a lot of snow around. So what happens when it starts melting?
Just Venice. You take a boat, try to sailing on your boat. It's like new taxi, new type of transportation.
Wow.
Yandex boat.
Yandex boat.
Oh yeah. They do boats as well. Oh right, wow. I look forward to that. But it's going to be interesting, isn't it? I suppose when the snow starts melting, beginning of April or something?
Yeah, close to April, I think, most of snow. But part of snow already start to do it, I think, in next year, in March. I think in middle of March.
I tell you what though, I'm looking forward to seeing some green grass.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to spring. You know.
I'm also waiting.
Oh sure.
So any disadvantages?
Being in Russia?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose when you get the weather could be a disadvantage if you're not prepared for it. If you're prepared for it, it's okay. I think it's all a question of whether you see it as a disadvantage or not. You have to make it most of the. I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's such a big country. I'm only getting to know a certain part of it, but I'd like to get to know other parts. I mean, we have a friend who lives in Novosibirsk, and we met her about 5 or 6 years ago. So we went to see her during my first half term. My wife and I went off together, and that's in Siberia, and just travelling around Russia is so huge.
Yeah.
And that took about 4 or 5 hours just to fly there, and they're 4 hours ahead in time.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you some idea of the vastness of the country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that's a disadvantage, it's just so diverse.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good word.
such a big country. But I'm very happy to be here because I need to know more about Russia, because Russia has a great history, great tradition, lots of culture. It's good to know. It's very important to travel, really, to inform yourself, especially in view of what's happening at the moment.
Okay, good words. The same thing from my friends to the England. It's also the greatest country, I can say, because your history is really huge from all the time. And I think our country started to appear around one time, or England is earlier.
Well, it goes back a long way. I mean, both countries.
Yeah, I think close to the same time. I think probably.
Yes, I mean, I think one of the things I've been very aware of in Russia is that they're very aware of their own history. People know about the history of. It goes back a long way. So yes, I mean, I suppose both countries have got very long histories.
Is it comfortable living in Russia when you don't know Russian pretty well?
I've found that a lot of people don't speak English here, which is understandable. In fact, it's interesting because when my wife was going back to Russia at the end of October, we were waiting for a taxi to take us to the airport, and none of us could speak Russian.
Unfortunately.
Neither of us could speak Russian, and to be honest, the taxi driver couldn't, and we were waiting for this taxi, and he didn't know where to pick us up. The app wasn't working very well, and I remember my wife said to me, "We have to learn Russian. It's because it's going to be difficult if we don't." But obviously, with the help of Google Translate, which is cheating a bit, but that's helped us. It's frustrating because sometimes you get into a taxi, you want to communicate or talk, and you can't, and sometimes. If the taxi driver wants to communicate, we can use Google, and they want to sometimes. They don't always want to, but it's always nice to make a connection with people. Difficult if you don't know the language.
What's your plans on the nearest future?
I want to keep going here. I'm trying to renew I'm renewing my contract. I mean, I'm extending it for another year. And I want to stay for at least another year. I mean, years.
Okay, so you're planning to live in Russia at least 2 years. After these 2 years, new country, new experience?
I think I just deal with what I've got at the moment. But I think the long-term plan is to keep teaching for as long as I can, in terms of the energy I have, which I have a lot of passion and energy for. I've been teaching for over 37 years, so it's something that I enjoy. If I retire, what am I going to do? And I think retirement's a difficult time for people, because when you retire, your purpose, it's kind of taking your purpose away in life.
How about just relax, just enjoy the life most, because you work it almost.
Yes, I think that's a good point. You've got to have time to relax. But if you've been doing something for a long time, and then suddenly you stop, they say that's the dangerous time, because I think everyone needs a purpose, yeah. So suddenly, if you've been teaching for 35 years or whatever, and suddenly you stop, what am I going to do now? I mean, obviously there are people who know what they want to do when they retire, but if you don't, then it's a little bit difficult, or can be difficult for people. I don't want to just chill out and relax. There's got to be some purpose to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it.
Do you think about what you will do after in one day? Unfortunately, I think everyone stopped doing their job. I will do it, you will do it.
Yes, I mean,
so what are you planning to do after?
kind of bit. I just want to keep on meeting people
Just meeting people.
and connecting with people, and not just from different countries. Sort of a world citizen rather than just. I think we're living in a multipolar world. So.
Yeah, it's a good plan. I think just travel, learn new cultures, and so on. And final question, Robin. What is happiness, for your opinion?
That's happiness for me, and the ability to be able to connect with other people and relate to them, relate to their strong points, to see the good in them as well. Really, I mean, I could carry on and tell you lots of things about happiness, but
you're so helpful person if you try to find it. Yeah.
Find that within you, which can benefit other people.
So communication makes you really happy.
Yes, I think if I'm connecting to other human beings, it feels really good. I think that's one of the things I found most difficult about during the COVID, when there was lockdown and people weren't able to connect with each other. That was a difficult time. Because we're human beings, we're social animals. We need that contact with people. More love, less hate.
Yeah, by the way, it's a good phrase.
More love, less hate.
Less hate. Больше любви, меньше ненависти друг к другу. Будьте добры. Thank you for the interview, Robin.
Thank you. Спасибо.
You're welcome.